Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakahakutash Rakathum. You're done, devil. You're done. Oh yeah, the women can't even stand you. It's a wrap for you, devil. Oh yeah, it's a wrap.
All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Do you know why the white race is dying? Because white women don't like white dudes anymore. Don't get me wrong, it's not because they're particularly because they're white. It isn't because of the color of their skin. It is because of what the fuck they stand for the majority of the time. White women can have a preference for white men, but they also have a preference for like human decency, equal rights, anti-racism. White women are slowly waking up. And we don't want conservative fucking men. And unfortunately, most white men, especially in the South, are conservative. So, white men, if you guys are so adamant about the white race not dying, personally for me, I cannot wait until there's not one single fucking pure white person in the world so that the fucking racism can end. But if you want white women to like you, how about stop being a racist, bigoted fucking prick and voting for people that aren't? Here's my hot take of the day. Okay, bye!
Racism is rooted in sexual jealousy about specifically black men, but most other races, I've noticed that white men are jealous. And while this is more typically pronounced in regards to black men because of these stereotypes about black men, there is a lot of envy from white men for men of color for very different reasons. Maybe it's the stereotypes of them being perceived as hardworking or dedicated, ambitious individuals, all the things that a lot of white men struggle with. Now it's just crazy how much racism is rooted in jealousy, specifically white men's inability to satisfy women, because that seems to be a problem that quite a lot of people have reported with white partners or husbands. Even with my content, I get a lot of white men in my DMs who want me to bully them or like sexually talk to them, down to them in a weird way, genuinely have inferiority complexes. I mean, these people are seriously psychologically upset and depressed over the way that they look. And so whatever amount of superiority they claim to feel on their white skin certainly doesn't extend to the bedroom. I will just say that.
Conservative white men are deeply unhappy and contributing to their own misery as well as everybody else's. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Kylie, and this is my series on exposing races. So here we have someone by the name of John. This is his TikTok at. I'm going to drop it because, again, he has confessed to being quite racist. He doesn't want to live in areas with people of color. He feels unsafe around large groups of black people and has made it very clear that his stance is firmly MAGA. He believes that there shouldn't be handouts to anyone, and yet in his free time, he likes to Google videos of white women and black men and is attracted to and obsessed with black men. But what struck me the most about this interview is that he really wanted to know, Am I a bad person? Is there hope for me in the future? Which points to the fact that these people are deeply sad and they've created a system that not even they themselves can sustain. They are suppressing their sexual desires, and this man even said he wants to dress up as a woman, that he feels a lot of shame and sadness in who he is, and it's definitely made me feel a lot more understanding of white supremacy is harmful for everyone, including white people, and that's why there's so many white cucks, and that's why interracial porn is so popular by these people. The way that white men talk about black fathers is 100% projection, and here's why. A lot of white men like to pretend they're so superior to other races and other men, but in reality, a lot of white dads are either drug addicts or alcoholics, physically present but emotionally absent, or such intense workaholics they don't even know their children's birthdays. So really what I see this as a fundamental problem with the way that men are socialized to treat women and children as extensions of themselves, not necessarily as important. And so while the stereotype is that black men will have children and not stick around, the white men who do stick around, because trust me, there are plenty of absentee white fathers, they aren't necessarily caring for their kids' emotional or physical needs. And a physically present dad but emotionally absent one is very, very traumatic for a lot of kids. I mean, just look at the children of a lot of rich parents. They're absolute tyrants. And they themselves are drug addicts because they know in their hearts that their parents do not give a shit about them, especially their dads. And so if you want to talk about daddy issues, then we need to talk about all races that are neglecting their kids, because it's absolutely not just the stereotype of black men, it's for white men too. It's insane how white men blame black and brown men for crime when they are overwhelmingly child predators. It's not even close. Depending on what the crime is that you're looking at, between 60 and 80% of the offenders are white men. Possession of child porn, 82% white men. Child predators who have a kid, 60% just that we know of. And that is with the justice system overwhelmingly and disproportionately arresting and targeting black and brown people for pretty much any offense that they can gather. That includes cops who are planting evidence of different crimes on black and brown people. And yet, in those departments, it's overwhelmingly white men. I think this is also because no one likes a child predator, so white men are even less likely to go out on a limb for other white men that they understand aren't being child predators unless they're other cops. So in my mind, this is a more accurate representation of breakdown by race for crime. But I mean, seriously, 187,000 white men in this country currently are child predators. Just that we know of, just that have been arrested, and just that are being counted in the database. So yes, white men are often the most dangerous people in the US. This is reason 10,000 why racism is rooted in jealousy. Tell me why I received this message of a white man saying, well, you look like you've dated black men, and if you have, none of us want you. I didn't know this was an attitude that a lot of white men hold, but apparently they think that white women who sleep with black men or with brown men, they become tainted in some way, and they no longer want that white woman. But this is absolutely rooted in jealousy, because why would it matter to them unless black men made them feel insecure? There is something about black men sleeping with white women who they view as their possessions that really gets them feeling angry, like they aren't good enough. Because let's face it, they aren't. And white men are obsessed with black men's penises. Like, they talk about it often online. You'll see comments like, I bet she takes black dick or whatever. It's fucking weird and genuinely unsettling how much they talk about black men. If they weren't insecure, if they didn't feel jealous, then why would they talk about it? They wouldn't. Genuinely so embarrassing on their end, because quite literally anybody can see through like what they're doing.
So this is a tough one to talk about. I don't see any way around it. And let me apologize in advance to those white men who I am acquainted with and respect and love. But you've got to speak what's true. Pedophilia, victimizing of people who you have power over. In this case, the victimizing of children who you have power over. Has anyone noticed that in every arena, it is rich white men who dominate the field? We know Epstein, where it's so distressing that some of the richest men on the planet habitually sexually abused children SA, I think I'm supposed to say, children. And they were tied together in secrecy, in keeping each other's secrets for decades. They were tied together financially. I think it was, if you deal with me financially and you become independent or become intertwined, you're less likely to ever reveal anything about the things we've been doing in the dark. The same sort of ethic is true in churches, the Catholic Church, which for beyond decades, century, kept the secrets of the white male priests who were SAing children. The same is true in small pastorates, small churches, where the pastor has a lot of power. Don't anybody say, oh yes, but it doesn't just have to do with that. I mean, a lot of women, still support these people. Sure they do. As long as women are in any way financially dependent on men, they're going to go along with almost everything, and that's just the truth. The latest, and I saw this morning on TikTok, and it was so distressing. The whole latest thing about we're going to declare certain occupational fields as not professional fields. I've heard that and I thought, well, that's the dumbest thing. That has no point. What is the point of that? Well, the first thing I looked at was that, well, if you look at the fields, and I wrote them down, it's like master's degree in education, a CNA, which is a medical helper, physician's assistants, social workers, occupational therapists, physical therapists are no longer, and there's more, they're no longer, well, I thought they had one thing in common. They were the fields women were in. Now, what does it matter? It matters because if they are declared to be not professional fields, people cannot get financial aid to assist them in getting the education necessary to go into the field. Got it? No financial assistance able for a master's degree in education or physical therapy or physician's assistant. And why does that matter? Reason one, these are fields dominated by women. These are ways women can become financially independent, can become able to support themselves and their families. But number two, I didn't even think about till I saw it this morning on TikTok. And Creator, forgive me please for not noting down your name.
Well, they hate you now, devil.
These fields, every one of them that I named,
Stupid
are
devil.
mandated reporters of child abuse.
Dumb devil.
You get me?
Fuck up everything, devil.
The white male federal government is saying, oh, they're not real fields anymore. Every one of them is mandated to report signs of child abuse. What to say?
Widows don't
What
like
to
you.
say?
They don't like you, devil.
White men are the problem.
Always been a problem.
White men, and white men particularly who desire power, money, are the problem. White men who cannot control their urges are the problem. White men who present a face of honesty and rectitude and caring, but who aren't, who are SAing children, are the problem. The secrecy is the problem. God help us all.
You're done, devil. The widow can't stand you.
White women have a weird and unhealthy and fucked up relationship with white men. White women who have white sons. Seriously, what the fuck? You will stand by your fucking son no matter what? No matter what. What the fuck is this? Where these... Like, you can't even criticize a woman's son without it becoming World War III. You can't. No, you really can't. I don't even care if you're fucking related to them. It doesn't work. It doesn't work out well. And this other thing I'm seeing. White women infantilizing white men who they perceive as having a monochrome of difficulty navigating within white patriarchal society. What the fuck? You are infantilizing them, running to their fucking rescue and defending them with your last fucking breath. Like, the energy is interesting, but like, why? Why are you doing it? Like, it is so fucking ingrained to do it, and I'm sitting back, and I know I've done it. Like, I'm not like saying I'm not guilty of it, but now that I'm on the other side of the fence of this, and I'm noticing this, whoo, this is why I don't think that white women are victims. I don't think we hold any fucking victimhood, because I think that we are deliberately and intentionally hanging on to these toxic relationships and living out a fantasy through them. And I'm not exactly sure what the fuck the fantasy is, other than maybe one day we'll be chosen by the patriarchy. And so we're living that out in our relationships, either with our sons or with our dating experiences with kind of the men we're with. But either way, it's giving desperation, and I don't give a fuck about what is in my own best interest. So could we stop, please? White women, could you stop? Stop infantilizing grown-ass white men and having this urge to jump to their defense when they have done the most abhorrent shit. Stop infantilizing white men when you see them even having a monochrome of difficulty navigating white patriarchal society, because it's not helping. You are the reason it is being perpetuated. All of the systemic issues, all of it. You're the reason, because you're rescuing these fucking men from growing the fuck up. Stop it.
Oops, I don't think they meant for that to happen. In the process of people going through Epstein files and STDs and looking through history and all of these things, and looking at the people who are in charge of our country right now and the ultra far right leaning ideology, specifically those saying that whites are supposed to be the superior race. What they didn't expect to happen would be that people would start figuring out that the worst human beings are, in fact, white men. More specifically, wealthy white men. I don't think they meant for anyone to figure this stuff out. I mean, they've been controlling the narrative of history books for how long? But in studies that were done in even the early 19th century, they could find that the spreading of STDs was like 10% came in girls that were 13 and under, and upper class and middle class white families. I'm not laughing because that's funny. That's freaking terrible. But what's funny is now everyone is starting to figure it all out. And sure, there have been plenty of people screaming that that was the problem the whole time. Even I have screamed that on this page. But even I didn't realize that it's that deep. It's that deep. And since I know my content is being right now, I'll just also go ahead and say Katie Johnson's name again, because every time I say her name, I know for sure the video won't go anywhere. And again, I will say, I believe that they are in a process of trying to normalize schmedophilia. I cannot tell you how many young men I have seen in comment sections of videos about Epstein who are like, dude, he's not that bad. Or even on other podcasts that I've been listening to, these guys come in and they're like, yeah, I'm one too. What of it? I'm going to squash any ideas you have about how this is wrong. What? Like, we went straight from we hate people who do this to a bunch of people not only accepting, but like claiming to be one of them. These files are horrific. I understand why people don't want to look, but we need to look because the fact that we have kept looking away for centuries is why we're here.
You know what's batshit insane is like, now that America has launched an unjustified war against Iran, there's no more hiding behind fake patriotism. And I saw a video the other day that wasn't necessarily discussing this, but really kind of put into words what I have been trying to say for a while. So there is a study on the epigenetics of the mental DNA associated with the descendants of former slaves. Basically what they're saying is your DNA carries epigenetic trauma